I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is a request from fan of Eli. Thank you so much for that. If anyone ever wants to request reviews or topics or commentaries or whatever, you can either do it via my Patreon, which there's certain tiers that you can do for that, or you can do it directly via my PayPal. The links to both will be down below in the info box. Again, thank you once again, fan of Eli. And one of the films he wanted me to review was the 2015 film Wild Card with Jason Statham. Now, this is pretty much a remake of the Burt Reynolds film Heat. I think this is a film that Statham wanted to do for a while. I'll be honest, I don't know why, because I'm not even much a fan of the original film. I miss Burt Reynolds. There's many Burt Reynolds films I enjoy. Hooper's my favorite. Love Smokey and the Bandit. I enjoyed Sharky's Machine. Heat, in a way, kind of like this, where stuff happens, but it just, I don't know, it just didn't really make much of an impression. It's not awful. This is not a rant. It's just, other than 3 or so fight scenes, and Statham doing fine in his acting performance, there's really nothing else I could say about it. The movie, Jason Statham, he's in Vegas. He's been in Vegas for a while. He has a gambling problem. He acts as a personal bodyguard for hire, or does whatever for his friends, or whatever he gets paid for. Like at the beginning, he gets paid to get beaten up by this guy because the guy wants to impress this lady. It's like, oh, if I beat you up in this con, it'll make me look better in front of this lady. So that's pretty much one of the first scenes of the movie. And then a couple little subplots are happening. Either he takes his job with this younger kid who has this annoying fucking laugh to show him around Vegas because he wants to be a man. Be a man. Jason Alexander pops in for a little cameo, and I don't think he even comes back for the rest of the movie. I think Anne Heche is in this, like a waitress. I believe that was her. I could be wrong. Like some people, and then they just pop in, and they're in it for maybe a minute. Like Stanley Tucci pops in as a mobster, and again, he's in it for like 2 minutes or so. It's just weird. Like you get some recognizable people, and then they pop in. Just like combine the three of them, can't be longer than 5 minutes. But the big gist of the story is Jason Statham has this lady friend, not girlfriend or anything, but a woman he knows who has these bruises because she got raped and beaten by these 3 guys, and she wants to know where they're staying at. And Jason Statham finds out, but he lies at first or tries to get her away from it because he doesn't want to get involved. She guilts him into it. He finally does. Says they're at this one place in this hotel. The lead gangster, he's the son of powerful people, and it's that actor Milo Ventimiglia. I remember him. He's the guy who played Rocky's son in Rocky Balboa, and he doesn't do a bad job, to be honest. But it cuts from him either showing this young guy around Vegas, which I didn't care because I didn't care about the young guy. I didn't give a shit about him and his stupid laugh. I hate to say it, but I almost didn't care for the lady that got beat and raped because of some of her reaction, where Jason Statham goes, well, I mean, and then she keeps guilting him into it. It's like, oh yeah, and what if they kill me? And she says, well, then I'll be miserable for a few days. I'm like, wow, she's pretty cold. I'd be like, then fuck you, bitch. Just say fuck it then and go to the cops. If you don't give a shit if I'm gonna live, fuck you. But Statham's character doesn't say that because she was abused and raped, but still, just some of her callous reaction, I'm going, why don't you go to the fucking cops or something? I know they give some explanation, but still, the point is, the writing kind of weirdly made her a bit unlikable to me, in a weird way. Just her disinterest in the well-being of Jason Statham's character. I mean, you want this guy to help you out, and you're not going to give a shit if he dies. That's pretty much what you're saying. I'm like, okay, then fuck you. Now, this is directed by Simon West. His best film is still Con Air. He also did The Expendables 2, which was disappointing. He did The Mechanic, which Jason Statham, which I'm not a fan of. I just say this. This is better than The Mechanic. I just say that. Although I'd rather watch The Mechanic Resurrection more than either of these. Because I'll do this. The 2 or 3 fight scenes, they do this interesting bit. Well, more usage of slow motion. All 3 scenes, they use slow motion fairly well. And Jason Statham, for example, when he's fighting these 2 guys, and he slow motion headbutt against this guy's nose behind him, and he has this credit card that has blades on it, and he slices a guy's forehead. There's another point later on where he fights some thugs in a bar. Well done sequence. I'll give you that. He's a bunch of guys and he's throwing people's heads into like slot machines, and that was fun to watch. Then at the end where he's taking care of the bad guys, he's fucking up with knives, and there's about 4 of them, as well as Milo, the lead bad guy I should say. But then I sat there and went, is this movie worth it just for these 3 fight scenes? Because that's really the only action in the film are these 3 scenes. And you just say, well, maybe it's technically not an action film. It's more of a... I don't know, what else would you classify? A drama, thriller, a crime? I don't know. But there's a point where he wins over $500,000 and he has an anxiety attack for some reason. And then they try to explain later where, again, it's gambling addiction. I don't know, I just don't feel as... So he even though he has enough money to get out of there, he compulsive gambler and he loses it all. And it ends with Stanley Tucci's the big mobster guy. He gets Statham and Milo in, and Statham goes, oh yeah, I know that you got cut on your dick because when I beat those guys earlier in the movie, and then she came in and she threatened to castrate you, but she just cut you. So I know where it's at, and then the guy refuses to take off his pants, and then Tucci pretty much believes what Statham's word for that. And then the young guy, the reason he's in there, which this was similar to what it was in the Burt Reynolds film, the guy, he appreciates that you taught me a few things, and that, hey, everybody's scared. I was worried that I'd get scared, but even you, a tough guy, get scared too, and all this stuff. So he gives him a ticket and money, a big old check. And they're in a cafe, and then it leads to a fight at the cafe. He fucks up Milo, knife under the chin, and then he leaves Vegas. And then that's the movie, and I went, the story didn't draw me in. Especially when I compare it to various movies I've seen recently that went direct to video. I looked at a friend of mine requested, which I'm going to get to them, some Scott Adkins movies, like Avengement, which was pretty impressive. I liked that movie. And also Boyka 4, Undisputed 4. Boyka Undisputed 4. Really fucking awesome movie. These are both films that went direct to video. Wildcard went in the theaters. I'm going... I saw another one with, I think it's a guy from Power Rangers, Johnny on Bosch. That's a movie where in its 90-minute running time, an hour and 15 minutes is just constant fighting and action and ass kicking. Literally. I'm not even over-exaggerating. I'm going to have a review of it because that's another request. Broken Fist or Broken Path or Attack of the Yakuza. It's on YouTube for free. I urge anyone who likes, the acting's not the best, but if you love ass kicking and you want to see an action reel with this guy, 15 minutes of setup, an hour and 15 minutes of just beating the shit. That was direct to video. So I watch this and I go, even other Statham films, acting wise, I enjoyed Blitz. Just Blitz, I thought, it's not a lot of action, but I enjoyed the story more. I thought Statham had a bit more to play with at a character. I actually thought the other character, I forget the actor's name, was a bit interesting because he was gay, but yet, people would mock him for it, but he's like, I'm going to do my job. I don't care about what I am. You can think whatever you want. So I thought that was developed fairly well. As well as other action films, Transporter 2, Crane 2, Mechanic Resurrection. But this, again, the story was kind of meh, which is what I thought of the Burt Reynolds movie. Statham did fine acting-wise, but his character, considering Statham wanted to play this, or do this film for a while, I guess, there's really nothing new for his character to play off of. There's not a ton of action. It's not like there's even other shootouts or explosions or car chases or foot chases. Literally those 3 scenes I mentioned are the only action in the movie. And they're well done. So I just sit there and go, none of the other supporting characters, whether it be the waitresses or the guy he's showing around, I didn't really give a rat's ass about one way or other. Milo Ventimiglia did fine as the villain, but it was nothing spectacular. So I'm watching, I'm going, okay, it does look like a film that would belong in the theater. Jason Statham's good. The 3 action scenes are well done. So I guess at best it's a time waster. Nothing about it made me mad or angry or upset. But it's just, that's kind of my reaction. It's, watching it again, it's not awful. It's just nothing that memorable either. But that's just my opinion. But thank you once again, fan of Eli. Thank you for that. Thanks to anyone. If you're, again, interested in sending a request via PayPal or by part of my Patreon, feel free. Links are down below. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.